Alright, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, dub honors to our apostles and elders, and Shalom to all the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. And I just wanted to go in real quick on this article that I just came across, basically going into how the government, it may be another possible government shutdown like it was back in 2013, I believe, when Obama was still president. But this article is basically mentioning that if we do, like, another one may be possible, and then if we do have another government shutdown, it's not going to be like last time. It's going to be worse and more serious because America hasn't gotten any better. It's only gotten worse. More debt, more. They still haven't solved the debt. It's just debt going up. So basically, it's just getting to the point now where it may be another government shutdown. And then the article mentions how the government shutdown actually is going to happen on Trump's 100th day in office, I believe. But I'm going to go into the article. So it's from the economiccollapseblog.com, titled, "After dramatic Obamacare failure, Trump now faces a looming government shutdown he may not be able to prevent." If you thought that the Obamacare debacle was bad, just wait until you see what happens next. The continuing resolution that is currently funding the government expires on April 28th, and if a new funding agreement is not reached prior to that time, there will be a government shutdown like we witnessed in 2013 starting on April 29th. Unfortunately, as I will explain below, if a government shutdown happens, it may go for a lot longer than just a couple of weeks this time around. April 28th may sound like it is quite some time away, but because the congressional calendar has so many holes in it, there is actually not very much time for Congress to act. If you can believe it, there are only 12 legislative days between now and April 28th, and if something is not done on one of those 12 days, the government will shut down on April 29th. Needless to say, a government shutdown would greatly rattle the financial markets. Thanks to the Obamacare disaster, the Dow has now experienced its longest losing streak in 6 years, and another down day for the Dow on Tuesday would make it the longest losing streak since 1978. With the Republicans in control of the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, you would think that a government shutdown would be unlikely. Sadly, that is not the case. In fact, political reporter Mike Allen says that a top Republican told him that a government shutdown on April 29th is more likely than not. And that quote that they highlighted from the top Republicans, he basically said, more likely than not, Wall Street is not expecting a shutdown and the markets are unprepared. During a government shutdown, essential government services continue to operate, but everything else ceases. Huge numbers of government employees are temporarily furloughed, which means they're laid off temporarily until the government is until basically a shutdown isn't any government back up and running. Basically, they temporarily laid off. So they're temporarily furloughed. Government parks are closed, and some government agencies pretty much quit functioning at all. The last time this actually happened was in 2013. So why would a conservative member of Congress want to force a government shutdown in 2017? Well, for one thing, we continue to add more than $1 trillion a year to the national debt. During the Obama era, the U.S. national debt rose from $10.6 trillion to just under $20 trillion. In a just society, the politicians have been stealing trillions of dollars from future generations of Americans who would be put in prison, but instead we have just come to accept that selling our children and our grandchildren into debt slavery is normal. And then I'm trying to get to the point because it's just basically just going into more detail as far as like what Trump said, little words, and then like other little things. I'm gonna just jump to right here. The current continuing resolution to funding the government expires on April 28th. The conservative House Freedom Caucus, the group Trump blamed on the Twitter this morning for killing his Obamacare replacement bill, will almost certainly make the funding the women's health group and country's biggest abortion provider a non-negotiable condition for it to support the government funding bill. That's a big problem. There's no way a bill that defunds Planned Parenthood gets 60 votes in the Senate. This is the issue that could force a government shutdown to last for an extended period of time. Today, the Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. If Planned Parenthood is not going to be defunded now, it never will be. But yeah, that was pretty much it. The rest is just going into how it's basically like Planned Parenthood funding them is a big part of it. Like you mentioned, like that's why they can't reach a agreement because they don't want to not fund Planned Parenthood. But yeah, the main point was that another government shutdown is possible to happen, but it's going to be, like the article said, it's not going to just be a couple of weeks. It's going to be a more extended period of time if it does happen. And it's really, even though it's at the end of April somewhat, like April 28th, it's still not even that far away. And the article mentioned how they only have 12 legislative days to figure out what they're going to do. And that's not even a lot of days. That's like almost 2 weeks. And that's nothing really. If they haven't reached an agreement now, and they only have 2 weeks left to reach an agreement. 12 legislative days, like the article says. All right, I want to get this scripture right here. It's Jeremiah 51 and 7. No, Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. That's right. Because, like it says in the article, in 2013, they tried to heal Babylon and keep it going, funding it some more, pumping more Federal Reserve note, pumping more debt into the economy, which doesn't do anything but just basically put it further back, pushing it further back to where they're going to have to deal with it again like they do now. So in 2013, everybody thought that everything was good just because the government got it back running. But all it did was just push it, like they just kept kicking the can down the street, and now you got to deal with the issue again. It's 2017 now, and you got it 4 years later, and they got to deal with the debt. It's twice as bad, like the article said. And the Obama, when he was in the office, the debt was 10.6 trillion, and now it's a little bit under 20 trillion. So it hasn't gotten any better. So now we're at a point to where we're reaching another government shutdown. All right, like 2013, but like the article said, it's going to be worse because the economy's actually gotten worse since then. Even though it seems like it's getting better or whatever, that's just a facade. That's not really what was going on. It's people out there with no job, no work. All right, debt still rising. All right, everything's still fucked up in the economy, but they're trying to play it off like everything is good so people don't panic. And that, like the scriptures say, coming in as a thief in the night. That's how the economic collapse is going to come as well, man, because nobody's expecting it. They thinking that America's good, that America's going to keep going. Trump's going to make America great again, when that's not the case. All right. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And the judgment in Babylon is on the way, man. That's why the apostles, like I'm going to keep mentioning constantly, they deemed this year death, destruction, and diligence. And you can see the destruction is coming, man. Economically in every aspect, man. The destruction of Babylon is on the way. All right. And I'm going to go... Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's right, man. So we're measuring the times, man, because America's out of here, bro. We've been saying that America's finished, and now we're clearly seeing it's evident different things that's going on in the society across globally, all right, in different countries. But Babylon is done, bro, because there's nothing left for it. All right, they tried to 2013. They tried to just kick the can down the road some more. And now it's to the point to where you can't kick it again. Now you got to see what you're gonna do. The issue still isn't resolved. All they did was just fund the government until this point again. Now you see that the debt is twice as bad as it used to be before. I mean, since the last government shut down. So you got to measure the times diligently. We see that obviously America isn't getting any better; it's only getting worse. And like the scriptures say, that like it goes down little by little. And now it's the time we're reaching that time where the judgment is time. It's time to be executed, man. It's time for Babylon to be taken out fully. All right. So it's gonna be. That's why you see that race war spirit. All right, like that Edomite that went to New York, killed the random Jake, just because he wanted to just because he wanted to basically start up the race war spirit. You're gonna have a lot more stuff like that happening. All right, like that other Edomite that shot up a church. There's gonna be a lot more Edomites like that that's starting to get the testicles. All right, the so-called, all right, not so-called, but the so-called courage, because they don't have any courage, but they getting the so-called courage to go and actually kill niggas now and not be scared since Trump in office, and it's pushing that race war spirit, man. And that's just another part of the prophecies that's supposed to come and pass. All right, race wars, the economically America going down. All right, we already see the earthquakes and the Lord visiting the earth with mad earthquakes. All right, and storms and all type of weather across globally. So all the signs are here showing that we are at the end. It's just for the ones that are watching. All right, like the scriptures say in Habakkuk, standing upon our watch. The ones that are watching, we know what's going on. It's only the ones that's out here not watching, all right, being in darkness. But we're watching and waiting for the return of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And Lord willing, 2017 is going to be that year, man. And we're going to see if around April 28th, like the article mentioned, if it's going to be a government shutdown. Because they can't kick the can down the road anymore. So April 28th, they got to deal with this issue again, all right? And the government, the legislative government, I mean, not legislative government, but they only have Congress, they only have 12 days to act, man. And that's not a lot. April 28th gonna come up like quick. It's not that many days. All right. So brothers, look out for that, man. I'm gonna be looking out for that as well, seeing if I see anything else mentioned, because that's a big deal right there. All right, another government shutdown coming. Because that's just showing that another step closer to this place being destroyed, man. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.